Page 4. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, the Sangha. By my accumulations or practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit sentient beings. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, the Sangha. By my accumulations or practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit sentient beings. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, the Sangha. By my accumulations or practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit sentient beings. Sanye joda zoge jonam lo chanjo pardo dane gyab soche dage jinso gebe sonam ge dola benjire sanye dubare sho Sanye joda zoge jonam lo chanjo pardo dane gyab soche dage jinso gebe sonam ge Tola benjire sanye dubara jo sanye joda soge chonam chanju bando dane gyapso che dage jinso kebe sonam sanye dubara sho. The next page. Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum tesham dathagato yavatat tesham jayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaye svaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhava hetum tesham dathagato yavatat tesham jayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaye svaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum tesham dathagato yavatat tesham jayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaye svaha. Okay. Okay, continuing from where we left yesterday. I think we are on verse number 8. The suffering of the lower realm, so difficult to bear, is what the Buddha taught to be the fruit of negative actions. Therefore, even the course of your life, never to commit negative actions is the practice of Bodhisattva. That is the practice known as the four seals of Buddha's teachings. The four seals, and that is very important for us to know what these are, and also that we are bound to, in one way or the other, we are bound to meet with very difficult situations, tragedies, and then the things which can, for example, like when was that? Yesterday, the tragic flight accident, the Hyderabad to London, the flight. Ahmedabad to London, 260 something passengers and all. 242. I think 260 something. Huh? 242? Okay, so the majority. 242, say the all gone. And then the one survived, okay. So this is extremely painful, and we never know that things can happen to us also. One and sometimes the gravity of the pain can be so acute, so acute. The so there, if you can think of these four lines, and particularly I would say that there's some which universally will be seen, can be seen as very painful, and some that we is a self-creation, because we meet with the situation, of course very tragic, and then mentally you faster it, you make it, and sometimes small things, it simply shakes your mind, it can make you insane. It does happen. And you can't do anything. For example, one time, a mother passed away, and one of the daughters, she just collapses because she cannot take the pain of the loss of the mother. This was what happens. And the other such situation, this is our tendency. For example, say I'm not going to mention some of my nephews, nieces. When they go through exams, exam stress and tension and anxiety. How many had that anxiety, exam anxiety, when you were in younger days? Yes, quite painful. And say one of my nieces, if she doesn't call me, which means she's okay. So I'm relaxed. Whereas she calls me 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 1 a.m. When she would say that, so she could not sleep. And then I'm having a sound sleep, and she disturbs me, saying that I could not sleep. You getting it? And making somebody not sleep. I couldn't sleep. Then I would tell her something, how to think, to fall asleep. And it's extremely painful. This is what the Buddha taught us. The long is the night for the sleepless. Those who cannot sleep, the night is so long. Samsara is long for somebody who lives in ignorance. So, with this, and recently, one of my nephews, he was going through the same stress. So before the exam, he was again calling me, saying that I couldn't sleep. After the exam, again he was calling me, I couldn't sleep. So what I told him is that, because he is very intelligent, I told him that, look, this is a situation, and when you don't have the exam, when there's no emergency, urgency, you feel that, okay, life is okay, beautiful. But anytime you can meet with a situation where your mind will be in stress, anxiety. So this is the sound of clap, like the two hands coming together. Okay, we try it. Two hands come together, two hands out. Two hands out. Yes. So the sound of this clap is the metaphor for all the miseries that we go through, anxiety, stress, and so forth. And these should necessarily come into being by the combination of two hands together. Okay, now one hand out, only one hand. No sound. No sound. However strong, no sound. So, simply with the external factors, however adverse, however vicious the external factors are, if the internal factors are missing, no sound, you would not feel disturbed. So I told my nephew that look, this is not what you have witnessed. Otherwise, oftentimes in one of the retreats in Dharamsala, I said that, how many of you had a severe, extremely agonizing, the pains, tragedies in your life? And everybody was in. One boy said, no, I never experienced that. I never experienced the suffering. This is what he said. And so later on, when I deliberately push him to something, then he had to admit that he has a problem. So I said, even you have a problem. So what I'm saying is that this is what is bound to happen. So with this, no, you'll get to the sound. You'll get used to the sound. Otherwise, without this fan, you may feel heat, the humidity. So sound you'll get used to in a while. May the second one be better? Second one? No, second one. Or the third one? No, there's nothing. Yes, that's better. You'll get used to sound, it doesn't matter. Okay. It reminds me of one very interesting story about a sound. There was one teacher from one particular Tibetan region, and he was teaching in a university, a monk scholar, brilliant monk scholar, top-notch scholar. And he was teaching a regular students, not the monks, regular students in a university, Tibetan university. And all the students, they were complaining to the school the principal. University students have complained to the school principal that our teacher, what he teaches, we don't understand anything. We can't understand his language. And the university, the vice chancellor contacted him, said there's this complaint that we're getting. He said, okay. So one day what he did was that he told a story. He told a story, and all the boys and girls, they were so aptly listening, so interested. He said that it's the same language I used. Teaching philosophy and sharing stories, the same language. And then story, you're not complaining. Philosophy, you can complain saying that you cannot understand my language. It's the same language. You're getting it? He's very smart. Okay, so what I'm saying is that there's sound. Gradually you will get used to it. Okay, what was I saying? Sound of clap. So the sound of clap, just remember this will greatly ease your life. So I told my nephew very recently, when he sat for a competitive exam, I told him that, look, this is a problem. Otherwise his personality is very different. Usually he says, so I don't care, whatever you say, I don't care, I'm okay, I'm very happy. When you go through these difficulties, then I reminded him, look, don't think that you're an independent person. Anytime these tragedies can hit you, and then you see the pain, you experience the pain. If you don't want to go through these pains in the future, you have to practice these 4 seals. All composite things are impermanent. All contaminated things are suffering nature. Everything's nature, emptiness, selflessness, transcendent sorrows, peace. You have to practice these 4 on a daily basis. So, with this, what happens with these practice of these 4? What happens is that, of the 2 hands, internal factors is minimized. Then the external factors, however strong, the sound of the misery stops. I have to practice. You have to practice. So therefore, these 4 lines are known as the seals, the 4 seals. Just as a government seals a building, which means nobody's entitled to touch it. It should be kept as it is. Likewise, the Buddha metaphorically sealed the 4 seals, saying that anybody who wants to stop the tears of samsara, You have to practice these four. There's no exception. You're Buddhist, non-Buddhist, whatever, it doesn't matter. Anybody who wants to stop the tears, you have to practice these four. And you are, say, non-believer, remain a good non-believer. Practice these four, remain a good non-believer. And if you are Hindu, Muslims, Jains, whatever religion that you're following, follow that. Meanwhile, if you want to stop the tears, these four lines must be practiced. For example, if you're hungry, whatever religion that you is fine, go to the kitchen, eat something to remove the hunger. This is where the Buddha sealed, metaphorically sealed these four things. So with this mind, it's very important for us to reflect on these four things. All composite things are impermanent. If you have the recognition, for example, say, how many of you want to watch the news? And what do? You turn to your mobile. And if the mobile hangs, and you're happy, not happy. Hey, you're happy, not happy. Vinay? Not happy, why not? Because, okay, say you want to watch the news and I give you this book. And with the mobile, what do? You move your hand like this. With this book also you'll do the same thing. It will not give you the news. You're upset, not upset. Hey, with the book. With this book, you not feel upset. With the mobile, yes, you're upset. Why?
Did you expect it to perform both?
The mobile is expected to perform this job to all the news, whatever you want. It should show that to you. But this book doesn't have the capacity. And the mobile, if you want to play music, the mobile is expected to play the music. No music. You'll not expect it. You'll not feel upset. So we see that this is all because that they say we assume things as permanent. We assume things as permanent. When we're together and on 17th we'll separate. On 17th we're going to separate. And separate. I know that some of you will feel heavy heart. I know. Some of you build friendship in the course of our being together. You'll feel a very little heavy heart upon the separation. Kokil, last time you felt it? Little bit?
Not really. Not really.
Not at all.
Not really. I don't talk to other people much.
Okay. Okay. Google only realize all composite things impermanent. Right? The force he already realized. So therefore his composed internal factor is gone. No sound. Okay. So what I'm saying is that when I see people of these stress, anxiety, and easily irritable or easily feeling shock, so I tell them that bigger things can happen, more severe tragedies can happen. I'll tell, okay, do one thing. I don't tell that severe things will happen. If I say this, they will feel it's very bad omen, inauspicious. Again, it will become more problematic for them. So I say that you do one thing. Just recite these four lines and just at least spend 2 minutes contemplating on these 4 lines on a daily basis. So that way you're fixing your mind. You're fixing your mind to undermine the internal factors. Internal factors every day, little by little. This is the power of the impermanence. The power is amazing power of impermanence. Say, okay, the young ones, you look at hand. Young ones meaning, okay, you're all young, raise hands. Just look at your hands. Kokil, how does it look? Nice, cute? Yes. Kokil says yes. But when you reach my age, look at it, it'll not be as cute. And then after 10 years, like 68, 78, 70, 90, then you'll see what is that? The black mark comes. What do you call that?
Reasons.
This, the black marks, you call it? Age marks, what do you call it? Okay, so these marks will come. At the moment it's very... So this comes very gradual. You not see it's coming, oh, now it's becoming like this. No, it's very gradual. This is the power of the impermanence. So, if you contemplate on these, all composite things impermanent, the beautiful days together, and beautiful days with the parents, with the children, with the family, husband with the wife, wife with the husband, and so forth, even these will come to an end one day. Just contemplate on these, contemplate on these. And while you're together, okay, this one day will come, right? Let's not have so much affection to each other. Don't say that. Be affectionate, be helpful, be kind to each other. Meanwhile, keep in mind that one day this will also come to an end. Remember that. So that way, when the actual day comes of the separation, your pain will not be there. Otherwise, look, the tragic, this Ahmedabad flight to London. So how many brothers, sisters, parents, husband, wife, children, they are left, and then they know that now they, whatever, husband and wife has died in the plane crash. Just see to the pain. So all composite things impermanent. All contaminated things are suffering nature. Where, okay, this is very important for us to rationally understand. All contaminated, where the contamination happens. External factors are there. How many external factors are there which creates problem? But each one of us, given that the number is less, is easy for us. So each one of us share with us one of a tragic incident that happened to your life. Think of it and share with us. Raise hands quick. Any incident, a sad incident that happened to you in your life. Raise hand. Anyone? Quick. Yes. Grandmother passed away. And it's painful? It was painful? So, tragic meaning something which pained you a lot. And Dorji?
My father passed away when I was 16.
The loss of the father at 16, the Dorji felt so lost and in pain. Anyone else? Children Samala?
Yeah, father passed away when I was very young.
Oh, the father passed away when very young. Okay, anything else? Not only something passed away, right? Okay, something else?
My mother passed away.
Again passed away. Okay. Okay, it's very painful. Yes, in fact, I would say that loss of the parents is so painful. Particularly when these love your parents so much. So when, for a child, this acutely heartbreaking for a child to lose parents. But the child becomes age 16, 17, then it becomes very complicated age. You agree? 16, 17, 18, complicated age. Then the parents and children distance sometimes. And the children, they see the parents very complicated, right? Okay, so I'm not too sure nowadays with the modern education, this is what has happened, quite a trend, but not always with everyone. Some, the children, how they love their parents is amazing. Even at the age of 20, 30s, 40s, amazing, great examples, exemplary. But then oftentimes, these are the things coming up. No, I don't love my mother. Sometimes people say that. We don't go along well. Very sad stories are there. It's not the problem of the mother. Of course, mother is not a perfect. You can't expect the mother to be perfect. Mother's an ordinary person. But how much love that you got from the mother, that is something to be valued. Don't expect your mother to be perfect. It's not perfect. For example, I openly tell people I lost my mother when I was just 5 years old. If somebody today, can bring my mother back, for like 1 hour, if possible for 1 year, if not for 1 week, if not for 1 hour. I'll be most happy. Whatever I have, I'll be very happy to give everything to that person to make my mom with me, and that I can do things to make her happy, to tell stories, or to give cheesecake. Because she doesn't know philosophy, right? So I would just make her taste what a cheesecake is like. So I'll just make her happy. And whatever she says, I will say yes, yes, yes. I'll not say no. Yangjen, do you say no sometimes? Never. Right? Sonam, you say no to your mom oftentimes. No, what you're saying is doesn't make any sense. This is his personality. Right? No, what you say, no, it doesn't make any sense. Scientifically, it is like this. Physics is like this, right? Mom would say, no, it's not true. No, please, mom, please. Okay, so I would say, today if my mom is with me, I will never say no to my mom. I'll just say yes to whatever she says to make her happy. Not that I agree with what she said, just to make her happy. This is what I would do. Okay, so with this mind, all composite things important. Where your mind goes wrong with ignorance, with selfishness, ignorance, external factors are bound to be there. So the external factors they are indicated: loss of the mother, loss of the father, and so forth. Anyone else? Jabin, anything else to say? Any tragedy that you made in your life? Any tragedy that you made in your life?
This is also related to that only. When my niece passed away when she was only 13 years old, so it was very painful for her.
The loss of the knees at 13 years old, extremely painful. Yes, you're right, extremely painful. Sonamla? No, he was absorbed in physics. Nothing. I know that. Yeah, okay. This young man?
I sometimes most of the time I agree with my mother, but sometimes as you said, sometimes I do not agree with her, and then still I have to comply with her just to make her happy. Since she is elder to me, so maybe whatever she knows the best.
No, I'm saying, did you come across any tragedy in your life?
Tragedy, not.
No, don't worry. There are so many tragedies waiting for you. You are young. Okay, the sir here. By the way, Ashish, your name?
Yes.
Yes.
Parents passed away, that brings its own tragedy, as many of us also
Yes,
share.
yes.
Other than that,
Yes.
leaving aside the passing away part, many a times I face tragedy when I come from a place called Calcutta. While traveling in the streets of Calcutta, when I see these small children searching for food in the dustbins, I feel this tragedy day in and day out.
Okay, this is amazing. Okay, in a way, yes, it's a tragedy. It's a great, painful, and this is compassion. This is amazing. This is very precious, very precious. In fact, I would say, don't minimize that. Don't minimize that. That is so precious. It's all coming out of compassion. So here, do you sense something? Oftentimes, the compassion alongside what accompanies compassion is extremely painful feelings. You agree? Compassion feeling. So usually what happens is that where there's tremendous love and affection, accompanying that is a pain. And more you love, more you feel compassion, more the feeling of pain. You getting it? Okay, how many agree with this? Raise hands what Ashiji shared with us. Yes, more the love and affection, more the pain. More compassion, more the pain. And sometimes where you love somebody so much and then you see the loss of the person, the pain is excruciatingly great that perhaps you can also go insane, loss of your mind. You agree? Okay, so what should we have to do now? Remove the pain and remove the affection? Remove the affection so the pain is not there? Or bear the pain, along with the affection, the pain comes, right? You bear it. what do you think would be the option?
Remove the
Huh?
remove the pain.
How? Because where the compassion and pain comes in?
Balance. Through balance.
Through
Balance.
through balance. Oh, balance, affection, don't go to 100%. Balance it like 50. 50, pain 50, okay. Pain, the affection 90%, pain 90% is also acute. No, balance. Okay, Sonam, stay a little bit away from me. Right? The mothers, Sirindramala will say, Sonam, I will not be too attached to you. Right? Okay, sometimes you fight with me. Okay, so what I'm saying is that yes,
We could help these people a little bit, like how much we can do so the pain becomes less. It's still there because we can't fix the whole world, but we can give like a little bit.
okay, do your best with the maximum affection, maximum pain. You cannot do everything, but whatever you can do that with full heart and full pain. Okay, Soham.
Question, Geshe.
Sohan or Soham? Soham.
Does the pain come with attachment to that person or genuine affection?
Okay, the question is mother's love, is it genuine affection or attachment?
It's both.
It can be both, right? Okay, so let us see that, okay, this is a question which you may need to deal with a little bit separately. And the point is, just imagine, like, okay, let's say this is a burning but gold. It's a gold but burning. You getting it? It is gold, very precious. I keep it, it burns my hands. Oh, it's burning me. I throw it, you're throwing gold. Do you understand it? The gold and the fire, when they come together, is a very tricky situation. The gold is very precious, but the fire to be discarded. But these two cannot be separated. You keep the gold, it burns, it's a fire, it burns your hand. You throw it, you're throwing gold. What should you do? So, use your wisdom. Or, no, if you want the gold, then keep it. It burns, you have to bear it. Or, if you don't want to burn, throw it. Even if it's gold, it's fine, throw it. Are these the only two options? Answer is no. We have to use the intelligence. With the intelligence, dip this burning gold in cold water. The cold water will remove the fire and the gold is left. You're getting it? Likewise, dip this affection, which brings pain, into the wisdom. And the fire of the wisdom will remove the pain, and it'll take the compassion separately without pain. So let me give you the three options. First option is which we already have: maximum love and maximum pain. One option. Number two, no pain, no gain. Number three, so much of pain, maximum compassion, no pain. Okay, three choices. Then depends on choose one. Third one. What is third one? Maximum love and affection with zero pain. Okay, how many of you would go for third one? Raise hands. Shiprato, third one? Yes. And Priyanka, third one? Yes. Okay. And Vinay, third one. Okay, all of us, third one. Shrikant, third one. Okay, now the question is, third one, is it possible? This next question. Is it possible? You getting it? This question. Okay, my question to you, is it possible? What is your response? Huh? Is it possible?
No, not possible.
Huh? Okay, be very honest. Don't feel shy, or don't think that I'm very pessimistic. Okay, no, I don't think it's possible. Raise hands. I don't think it's possible. Okay, I'm not too sure. Raise hands. Okay, of course it's possible. Raise hands. Very good. Okay, let me say, Ajiji, how is it possible? How is it possible? So it's good to be positive. Good to be positive. At the same time, we should be convinced. How to explain it? Anyone? Yes, Ajiji.
To continue with our positivity,
Okay, continue the positivity. Okay. Who else? Who said yes? Of course, it's possible. Yes. Okay. So, how is it possible?
I don't know how it's possible, but I've seen it being possible in people.
Where?
Holiness, for example.
How do you know?
So, for example, in an audience, his leg was paining clearly.
Yes.
But then, like, that was completely forgotten when he started blessing people. And he blessed people for an hour and a half with full love. You could see that. So, that pain is something that, physical pain is something, but also psychological pain, I think people like him, people, great saints, have been able to do that.
Oh, you're wonderful. Anyone else? Anyone else? Yes, over there. I don't know, David. So you are into which side? Positive or not? The
I think all the words are, it depends on who you are. If you're a Buddha,
okay. Okay, so David, very clear. Okay, you are Buddha, not. Are you Buddha? Right. If you're not Buddha, no hope. If you're Buddha, yes. Okay, look, this is one thing that we're learning here. Fossils, what are they? All composite things impermanent. Number two, all contaminated things are suffering nature. Number three, okay. Number two, all contaminated things are suffering nature. Where contamination happens, suffering happens, including the pain accompanying the love and affection. You getting it? Including pain accompanying love and affection. These come from Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava. They arise from the causes. What's the causes of the pain? Ignorance. Ignorance is a cause. You getting it? Okay. So all contaminated things are suffering nature, like the pain that, including the pain, I would say in a way, for the time being, let's say good pain like what Ashish shared. You see people suffering and you feel the pain. So this is extremely compassionate. And yet the pain is there. That pain, at times it can go too severe. So, if including this pain is all driven by the contamination. You're getting it? But this is coming from the compassion. Yes, there's a compassion element there. But it's not only one cause. There are multiple causes. Primarily, this pain is like, keep in mind, the gold and the fire. The gold. Where there's a gold, the fire comes. Not necessary. Not necessary. But there's some gold which is also fire. Gold put in fire, it becomes fire gold. Gold fire. So likewise, the pain side should necessarily come from contamination. What is contamination? Mental contamination, afflictions. Afflictions give rise to they drive us to all contaminated things are suffering nature. The next question is there a way out? This question. Is there a way out to stop all these pains? This is the question. So for that, Charles Darwin, what he said? He said, no, the pain you have to accept it. You cannot remove it because these emotions, like fear, when you have fear, is there pain? No pain. With the fear, is there pain? Pain is acute. And anger, disturbance, no disturbance. Acute disturbance. So, attachment, anger, fear. These are the emotions which we inherit from 4 billion years time. 4 billion years, and more closely, 0.3 million years of the Homo sapiens emergence on planet Earth. So this is the evolutionary gift for us. Evolutionary gift. These are required for your survival. The survival of the fittest. Survival of the fittest. We require them for a survival. This is what Charles Evans said. Which means that we couldn't get rid of them because number one, they're instinct. Number two, they are required for our survival. Without these, we'll die, we'll not survive. Whereas the Buddha's approach is very different. Buddha said, no, that's not true. Buddha says it's not true. Number one, are the instincts? Answer is yes. Buddha would say yes, these are instincts. Instincts meaning that they're innate. You don't have to strive to generate them. They're instinct. And is it that we require them for survival? The Buddha said no. For the survival, there is within us qualities, mental qualities, which are way, way, way more effective than these destructive emotions. Way more effective without the side effects. Whereas attachment, fear, yes, it helps us. If the lion comes, we run away in fear. Fear makes us run away and it will save your life. But the side effect is that there's a tremendous pain there, disturbance there. Whereas the Buddha taught what is known as skillful compassion. All the skillful compassion will make us survive most effectively without any fear, without any mental pain. So if the fear lasts within us for the next 1 month, if this intense fear is within us for the next 1 month, we will die very shortly because it consumes the immunity. Our immune system will be destroyed by this fear. It consumes the immune system. This is what His Holiness the Dalai Lama oftentimes the scientist during the exchange with His Holiness, they would inform His Holiness that this the case. And His Holiness said, yes, exactly this is what the Buddha taught. So therefore, the thing is that the question is whether or not there's a way out. All contaminated things are suffering nature. And the Buddha said, yes. Explore the cause of the suffering. What's the cause of suffering? Self-grasping ignorance. And ignorance can be gotten rid of by wisdom. Wisdom to know the reality. So into the wisdom, ignorance is gone. When ignorance is gone, the root is gone. When the root is gone, sufferings will all stop. Then what happens? Your compassion, will it go away? It will not go away. It's like the gold, burning gold, dip it in the cold water, the fire is gone, but the gold is left. Your compassion is left, and your pain is gone. In fact, this pain actually makes our compassion to shrink. Compassion reaches out. But with the pain, it shrinks your compassion. Because you are scared that if I'm more compassionate, more pain will come. Now the pain is not there, your compassion expands exponentially. This is amazing. And when the compassion happens, your mind eases. Okay, when do you feel more the ease? You're in a small place, and you cannot get out. For example, you're in a small room. The moment you get out, it's a very busy crowd, people fighting and so forth. You're in a small house for 10 years. And suddenly you enter into Bodhisattvas, right? Where you can freely walk around nature. So, where do you feel suffocated? In the early place or in Bodhisattvas? In the earlier place, because you don't have the space to move around. Likewise, what is that? Actually, it is our mind which needs space. And the pain makes our mind not to move. Because with the pain of the pain driven by the accompanying the compassion, the more the compassion, the more the pain I will have. I don't want to have the pain. So your compassion shrinks. Whereas when the pain is not there, then your compassion expands, because with the compassion, the feeling of ease comes, because you get space. Say you are you are in a place where all your, sometimes it does happen, where in a workplace, where all your colleagues, they're very competitive with each other, pulling you down, versus you're in another workplace where all are your friends, relatives, so helpful. Of course, your mind will feel at much more at peace or at ease with people who are very friendly, loving to you. You agree? Okay. So this is exactly what happens. When the compassion increases, what happens is that your mind eases out, and the pain, the fire, dip in the water, the pain is gone, then the mind expands, you feel the expansiveness. Expansiveness, the irritation stops. Irritation stops, and then your mind expands, you feel the ease, and the ease expands to, when the compassion moves to infinity, ease expands to infinity. You getting it? So therefore, on that level, we see that the expansive compassion is the expansive ease. Expansive ease and expansive compassion, these two are synonymous. So this is on a higher level. Initial level, when we are compassionate, sometimes we call it sacrifice. Sacrifice, is it good or bad? Meaning in terms of the pain. Sacrifice is a connotation that you have to go through a little bit of pain. Yes, you agree? Sacrifice means I have to lose something. Whereas in reality, it's not a sacrifice, compassion. Because the more compassionate you are, the more expansive your mind becomes, and the more ease that you feel. So, this is win-win. Infinite ease for you, and maximum benefit for others. So on that level, say the compassion for others and compassion for oneself, these two are synonymous. Initially, when you practice compassion, it feels like you are sacrificing something, but in reality it is not. Okay, this is what we need to keep in mind. So with this mind, let's say I gave you three options. Say, so much love and affection and so much pain, number one. Number two is no pain, no gain, right? Okay, no love, no affection, right? So the husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, or the parents and children, right? Okay, today I will go out. Yeah, okay, fine, right? Where are you going? No. You go, and deep inside you feel, oh, I will have the free time for myself, right? And go, okay, please go, bye-bye, right? It's actually not good, bye-bye. It's to say that go faster, more quick, right? So that I'll have a peace of mind. Okay, so there, affection is not there. And something bad happens, and then there's no really pain. Okay, this is how the world. Most often, what people say is that when such thing happen, what will they say? Oh yeah, it happens to everybody, right? There's no pain. Whereas if somebody you love so much, the person dies or something happens, you will never say that it happens to everybody, right? You will say, no, why it happened to us? I wish this person live for the next 3 years minimum, or at least 1 year, at least few months. How many thought like this? Raise your hands, to be very honest. How many thought like this? Yes. So what I'm saying, this is indication of love and affection. So with this, now the question is that these pains are so strong. Is there a way out? Answer is yes. How? How? Track the root cause of the pain. Root causes self-grasping, ignorance. Get rid of this. How to get rid of this? By the wisdom. What is the wisdom? What is the wisdom? Wisdom is a discerning mind whose apprehension of the object tallies with the reality. What is the wisdom? Wisdom is the discerning mind whose apprehension of the object tallies with the reality. What's the reality? What's the reality? The reality is the third seal. Everything is of the nature of emptiness and surface. Everything is like dream. In dream you will worry. The moment you wake up, the worry stops. Worry related to the dream stops. Because knowing that it was just a dream. So, this ignorance is the one where there is a pain. Okay, where there's a pain, two things are actively operating within us. Where there's a pain, two things are happening. Two things are operating within us. Self-grasping ignorance and self-centered attitude. These two are operating within us. So, self-grasping ignorance and self-centered attitude. These two things are operating. And who has these two? Buddhist or non-Buddhist? Sonam, who has these two? Scientist or non-scientist? Both. Even scientists have. I see. Okay, what about the boys or the non-boys? Who has this? Self-grasping, ignorant, self-centered. Boys or non-boys? Boys or the girls? Girls or non-girls? Everyone has. Everyone. This is reality. Okay, so this is so important for us to know this. Self-grasping and self-centered attitude. If you remove this, all the pain stops. But your mind is not stopped. Your mind is still operating. You're getting? So your mind, without the pain, your mind still operates painlessly. No pain and still operates. And you practice compassion, it keeps expanding, keeps expanding, keeps expanding. You getting it? Keep expanding. Then you see that the more you expand, the more ease that you feel. The more ease that you feel. And infinite expansion, infinite ease. This is your full awakening. So, your question? Yes.
So, Geshe, so when, for example, self-grasping and self-centered attitude, that gets dissolved, sometimes what happens is you can't conventionally operate in the world anymore.
Okay.
So how do you counter that? Conventionally operate in the world as well as work with this realization.
Okay. If you could remember yesterday, say, so here, if you think self-grasping, self-centered attitude dissolves, and you think that you cannot operate in the world, here the self-grasping is not dissolved. Self-centered is not dissolved. You're getting 100% guaranteed. These two are not dissolved. You think. So there's a Tibetan expression, which says that you look like a Bodhisattva, you look like Buddha. Right, no anger, nothing. Where even if the monastery, the temple is on fire, still you're smiling. You're getting it. So this is not a good sign. This is not good. It's not. People think that ordinary people think that this is a Bodhisattva or Buddha, right? Or no anger, right? No fear, calm. The temple is on fire, still smiling, right? Right. So this Tibetan expression, you have not heard it, okay? In Tibetan it says, "Chude me sikyang zum shik shik." Even the offerings, they offer to Bodhisattvas, they are taken away by the dogs. Still you're smiling, right? So this is not a good sign. This is not a good sign. This is the inactivity of your mind. This is the weakness of the mind. This is one of the weaknesses, inactivity of the mind. So, real understanding, self-grasping ignorance dissolves when you understand emptiness correctly. How do you understand emptiness correctly? Is by understanding dependent origination correctly. When I understand dependent origination, by dependence, let's say, by dependence and me not acting properly in the community suffers. You getting it? And your compassion is massive, that you don't want to let the community suffer. So I have to act properly. I have to act smartly. You getting it? So understanding dependent emptiness correctly, mark of that is understanding of dependent delusion correctly. To understand dependent delusion correctly, you will particularly know how to operate in the world extremely effectively, like His Holiness the Dalai Lama. You getting it? So he has tremendous pain. And yet, giving audience, hours of hours, giving audience. And as you said, he forgets his pain out of concern for the people. You're getting it? So therefore, the thing is that but I understand what Soham is saying. The thing is that we need to have a what? Correct information? Complete information. You're getting it? If you get a complete, and how to get a complete information? There's no one book to say that this is complete information. There's no one such book. You have to learn things very systematically. You have to learn things very systematically. So, then, and that too for an extended period of time. Some people, they say that, some people, they say that, some people who are too naive, they're too naive. They say that Carl Tinshirabla, how many years you studied the Buddhist philosophy? Four years. Okay, the Dorji, how many years? 30 years. Since college. Since 52. 52 years. So some people, what they say is that still you are studying. When will this finish? People say like this. Too naive, right? Still you are studying. When will this finish? When will this course finish? Not under studies. When will this finish? Still you are studying. You're getting it? So they say they never ask themselves. They studied in school, college, university, minimum for like 15 years. They never asked themselves. You're getting it? So the point is that these things are something that in order to get the full picture, you really have to study things very systematically and in a well-established system. This is very important to get the full information. Okay. So with this, on the wisdom, what is the wisdom? The wisdom is the discerning mind whose apprehension of the object tallies with the reality. The next question is, what is the reality? The reality is the third seal, that everything is the nature of emptiness and selflessness, meaning that everything is empty of objective reality. Everything is empty of independent reality. Then how do things exist? If things are empty of independent reality, if things are empty of objective reality, how do things exist? Shrikant? Then things exist dependently, then things exist subjectively, then things exist conventionally, nothing objective real. So, say, when do you see things as existing subjectively? For example, the dream. Dream is subjective or objective? Dream is subjective, that's easy. Dream is subjective. And when do you see the dream as subjective? In the dream or outside the dream? Outside the dream. So, to come out of the dream, what should we do? Wake up. It's for this reason that the Buddha is revered as the fully awakened one. You getting it? We have to wake up from the sleep of ignorance. We have to wake up from the sleep of ignorance. This is so important. If you do that, what happens? Then all our pains will be transcended. The fourth line, which says, transcending sorrow is absolute peace. With this wisdom, all your pains will be separate, all your pains will be these transcended. Transcending sorrow is absolute peace. So this peace, you will never lose it. Once you have it for good. So this is what we remember. And every day, if you can recite it, contemplate on meanings, and this will gradually reshape, rewire our mind to think very stably that even when the tragedies happen, you will not be shaken as much. And if your experience is too deep, then it will not at all shake you. You will see everything like a dream. Okay, so with this in mind, let us try to finish the text as much as possible, as soon as possible. Once that is done, there are many more important the aspects to be discussed, and I'll try to cover these mentions as well. Okay. We're on verse number 8, page 142, verse number 8. So what we said was that the 4 seals, what is the second seal? Over there, was the
I don't have the volume today, but all things contaminated, they are inherently suffering in nature.
So, what was your name? Sudeshna, yes. What Sudeshna is just perfect. All contaminated things are of suffering nature. Where there's contamination, there's no escape. It's suffering. But some people say that, the Buddha taught everything is suffering. Is it correct or not correct? Buddha taught everything is suffering. Buddha taught everything is impermanent. Is it correct or not correct? Hey, Sonamla, correct or not correct? It's not correct. Okay, Vinay, correct or not correct? Not correct. How not correct? Because only contaminated things are suffering, not uncontaminated things. Uncontaminated things are the nature of absolute peace. Okay, let's not forget it. With this mind, second syllabus says, all contaminated things are suffering nature. What kind of suffering? What kind of suffering? It is so important for us, for you, for me, each one of us to think about that. What kind of suffering? When things are going okay, right? And then not at all thinking about the suffering, this is not a good idea. Particularly when you're okay, if you think about the different kinds of suffering, people are going through this kind of suffering, that kind of suffering, and so forth. And for example, say the people working under somebody, employers, and employees under employers, and so forth, the pains that people are going through. And the family, when the members, they are not in good terms, extremely complicated, so much pain. Sometimes we can't do anything. So sometimes let's say the husband is drinking and beating the wife, physically, corporally beating the wife, and if we report the situation to the police, then the husband be put behind bars, and the wife doesn't have any source of living. This is a vicious cycle, vicious cycle. If you don't report it, continuously receive the beating. If you report it, again sometimes reported the wife has some enough things to survive. Still, mentally she feels that no, something's wrong. If he goes behind the bars, it's not correct. Then she would plead you, please don't do that. And then if you still do that, then she will become broken mentally. What do you do? So such things happen. Think of this, and you can be in such situation anytime. If not this life, next life. We never know. So if these things happen, really painful. Think of these and 3 kinds of suffering. Okay, what are 3 kinds of suffering? Suffering change. Pervasive condition suffering. And those of us who are hearing this for the first time, in the group discussion, you must discuss these. Okay, very quick. Suffering. What do you understand by suffering? Very quick. Any manifest suffering, anything, the pain that anybody can is identify as suffering, like suffering headache, sickness, aging, sadness, all these, or suffering. Suffering change. What do you understand by suffering change? Anyone? Okay, Tenzin
Suffering seems to be like happiness, but it's actually a form of suffering.
Okay, suffering which appears in the form of happiness, in actuality there's suffering. Can you give me some examples?
For example, if I like a slice of cheesecake, and then if I were to eat one, but then if I were to continue eating 100 of it, so then that would be...
Okay, my question did you all hear what Tenzin said? He said that, imagine you are like say cheesecake, and then he has the first slice of the cheesecake, and then the second, third, fourth, and then gradually, it makes you feel like throwing up. So it changes to suffering. So which is the suffering change?
The second.
Which second one?
When we feel initially we felt that...
Initially you feel pleasant, and later when you feel like puking, that is suffering change. Is that manifest suffering or not? Okay. Tenzin Pinsola, the NIC or NDC5? NMC2. Okay, unexpected. Anyway, I can see that all the answers they're giving, they're so good. Anyone else? Suffering change. Okay, somebody who can just broadly, just overarching, if you can say, what is suffering change? Some form of a meaning. Can you give a meaning to suffering change?
Growing old.
Growing old, is it something which you like or you don't like? We don't like. Nobody likes it. Right? So it's evident suffering. All evident suffering falls in the category of suffering, the first, not suffering change. Okay, is there anybody who likes to share with us about suffering change? Joshua?
Suffering of change is like the lure of samsara, like a bait, which, as what Tenzin Gyatso said, something which could seem initially as happiness, like a cheesecake, but too much of it might create evident suffering, the first suffering of suffering. So there's a tendency of change.
Okay. Is there anybody who can give me the broad, say, what is suffering change? Suffering change. This is suffering change, like this.
Like as usual, we are day-to-day life we are running. At the meantime, if it's announced like strike from tomorrow onwards, then it will be changed. Pattern will be changed.
Pattern will be changed. Very good. Okay. Khaldan Shirla.
The mundane happinesses.
Okay, look. What Tenzin was saying is giving like a meaning or definition of this suffering change. Contaminated happiness. Any contaminated happiness and suffering change, these two are synonymous. These two just mean the same. Contaminated happiness. Or, okay, one contaminated happiness. Or, another word can be mundane happiness. Any mundane happiness is suffering change. Okay. For example, say like the joy of, they say the joy of eating cheesecake. Joy of eating cheesecake. Or they say going for a holiday. The joy of going for a holiday. Or any mundane happiness. In other words, so any happiness people like us experience, those who do not have the direct experience of emptiness, any happiness they experience, they fall under the category of suffering change. So the question is, okay, now what happens? The happiness that we experience, this also suffering, happiness that we experience. Yes. So what this Passola said, is that the happiness that we experience is suffering, is a subtler level of suffering. It's suffering in ways that it is a bait. Bait should have bait. What is bait? Anyone who wants to explain what bait is? Dorji, what is bait?
Drags you into suffering.
Okay, let's say a bait to catch the fish. We use bait to catch fish. So the bait should have two qualities, two attributes. One is that it should be a delicious food. It should be delicious. Delicious means it's happiness. Delicious, and behind that there's a hook to kill you. You're getting it? It's good or bad? Hey, delicious food with the hook inside is good or bad? Hey, bad. This is bait. You're getting it? So all this cheesecake, there's a hook behind it. And anything what we see as pleasant, this hook behind it. This is a bait. This is a bait. Okay. And the suffering change. What is next? Pervasive conditioned suffering. Okay, what is pervasive conditioned suffering? Anyone? Okay, Subrado.
Pervasive conditioned suffering is the suffering that we carry forward from our past life, and it is embedded there which we are not aware of in this life, but it is our karma that we have borrowed from.
Okay, suffering change is something which we're not aware of at the moment, but it is something which we brought from your past life.
Karma.
It's the karma. Good. Anyone else who likes to add suffering change? Dorji, you want to say something? Anyone else? Shrikant? Suffering change? No. Pervasive conditioned suffering. Kokil? Suffering change, by pervasive conditioned suffering. No? Okay, this is very important. Joshua?
Involuntary birth in samsara.
Involuntary birth in samsara. Number one.
Under the sway of contaminated karmas and afflictions.
Being under the sway, under the control of contaminated karmas and afflictions.
Under the sway of self-grasping ignorance.
Being under the control, being under the sway of self-grasping ignorance.
Lack of freedom. Involuntary lack of freedom.
Lack of freedom means involuntary, right? Okay, the contaminated neutral feelings, very good. Contaminated neutral feelings. Okay, let's say, let us identify these four, and then later on you try to explore more. The first, what Joshua said is that being under the control of contaminated karmas and afflictions, number one. Being under the control of contaminated karmas and afflictions. And we'll try to learn how this is the suffering. Being under control of contaminated karmas and afflictions. Number two, involuntary birth in samsara. Involuntary birth in samsara, number two. And number three, what is number three? What do you say?
Being under the sway of self-grasping ignorance.
Being under the sway of self-grasping ignorance. And finally, the contaminated neutral feelings. Number one, being under the control of contaminated karmas and afflictions. Number two, involuntary birth in samsara. Number three, being under the control of self-grasping ignorance. Number four, contaminated neutral feelings. Okay, good. Now, those of us who are hearing this for the first time, so tell me about this, about what we discussed. pervasive conditioned suffering and the 4 illustrations that I give you, say, what are the things that you are not clear or you want to know, or things which did not they come to you very clear, you want clarification? Raise hands, anyone? About these 4 things and the pervasive conditioned suffering. Yes, Sonamla.
I want to know more about suffering or suffering.
Suffering is not that difficult, that's easy. Any manifest suffering, anything that anybody can easily identify as suffering, these fall under the category of suffering. But it is experienced on various levels. Physical pains are there, mental pains are there. Physical suffering, mental suffering. These are there. And then within physical, some are unthinkably brutal pains.
So I just want to differentiate the first and the third. I just want to know the difference between the first and the third.
First and third. In fact, I would say this is a good question. How would you distinguish between the first and the third, second and the third, right? First and the third, as well as the second and the third. In other words, third one is the most. Okay, third one is the most subtle or the most vicious suffering. The third one. But ordinary people like us will not be even aware of that, the third one. We are aware of the first. And some beings who are more evolved, they can identify the second. And if you identify the third as the suffering, you are really, really good Dharma practitioner. Because we don't identify the third at all. Okay, so let us, the Sonam's question, we'll do this. Okay, the Dorji.
I didn't understand contaminated neutral fields.
Okay, contaminated field we'll discuss on this, very important. Very good. I know that I can sense that Jabin is also interested in that. Okay, David.
If we know that all contaminated things bring suffering, in real life, in daily life, let's say we're faced with eating a cheesecake, or faced with having a relationship that causes us joy and pain.
That is a big question. Okay, if you realize that all contaminated things are suffering nature, during the break time, what do you get? Tea and? You get cakes? Just tea. Or you can buy cakes? And then David is concerned about his cheesecake. You get it? And then relationships. Okay. In fact, I'm not too... A cheesecake is something in which I can help you, but the relationship, you should have the experience. Right? Come together and split bye-bye. And that bye-bye is not good bye-bye. Right? You said it. David, how many times you did that? Not relationship. Said, you said it. No, I did not say this. And bye-bye. How many times? Okay, keep a secret, it's fine. What I'm saying is that you have the experience, right? So this is a bait, right? And if you right from the beginning, if you know that, okay, meeting that person, I'll end up with this, you said it, right? If you see that picture first, you will say, okay, better not. Better let me have the peace of mind. If you see this before, but we don't see that. We see the flowery part. We see the delicious food. And inside there's a hook. You're getting it? Very painful. But the cheesecake, this is where the Okay, how many of you think that cheesecake, what's wrong with the cheesecake? Resents. What's wrong with enjoying cheesecake? Okay, I would say the same thing. What's wrong with enjoying the cheesecake? Please enjoy cheesecake. It's not, there's nothing wrong. When does it go wrong is that when you become the slave of the cheesecake, that's the problem. When you become the slave of the cheesecake, that is when you go wrong. You become weak. You want to become weak or you want to remain strong? Weakness is a good thing or bad thing? It's a bad thing. Don't be weak. Be strong. You have the Buddha nature. Right? The real cheesecake inside. Real cheesecake inside, you have it, it will never make you weak. It will make you stronger. External cheesecake makes you weak. You say that, okay, today I'm going to sit for what? Fasting. Right? You stay away from cheesecake and stay away. And somebody brings a fresh cheesecake. Right? You say, okay, I'll just try it. And you said, what happens to your fasting day? All right? No, it's okay today. This is our weakness. So this cheesecake is telling us you're weak. You're getting it? And it builds a tendency of the weakness. This is how, where then our mind can easily be pulled and pushed by the external factors, easily pulled and pushed. This is a weakness. So this is where it makes us weaker, and weaker. So therefore enjoy cheesecake. Enjoy cheesecake. Meanwhile, remember that all contaminated things are suffering nature. If I'm not careful, there's a hook inside this. This hook will glue me to cheesecake. It'll make me weak. It'll make me a puppet. I don't want to be a puppet. You getting it? So enjoy it. And sometimes you challenge also. Okay, today somebody brings a cheesecake. You say, okay, today I'm fine, I'll not have it. Although you like to have it, like meaning I'm weak. But I'll try to stay away from this weakness. Today I'll not have it. Right? Next time you have it, just see how weak your mind is. You enjoy it, how your mind is pulled by it. Just keep observing it. And then later on, okay, next time, I'll try to stay away. And then see if you can stay away from this. Stay away, you can. This is your success. Okay, good. So, with this verse number 8, the suffering of the lower realms, so difficult to bear. Lower realms meaning hungry ghost, hell realm, hungry ghost realm, hell realm, and animal realm. So there the pain is so acute. Human beings, for example, the plane crash, and the whole world knows about it. People praying, people worrying about them. And under the plane crashed on, how many insects were killed? And then the fire, it caught fire. And how many insects were killed? And who is praying for these insects? Who thinks about these insects also? If you take birth in these places, like the animals and so forth, who worries about these? So these pains are so acute. For example, if you take birth as a chicken, they end up into the KFC. There's no, human rights. Nobody will shout for you. But some animal activists, or extremely kind people, they will shout for you. But otherwise, who will shout for you? You get into the KFC and somebody will just give you a thought and you become a food. Who knows? And if it is you who's going to become one like this in the future, would you like it? We don't like it. These are the sufferings which are pending, which are waiting for you and waiting for us in the future. So it says, suffering the lower realms, so difficult to bear, is what the Buddha taught to be the fruit of negative actions. If you don't want these, stop the cause of these. The cause of these sufferings are the the negative karmas, stop negative karmas. Therefore, even at the cost of your life, never to commit negative actions. Negative actions mean negative karmas, is the practice of Bodhisattva. So therefore, try your best even to stay away from, the being non-vegetarian. Trying to gradually turn towards vegetarian would be very, very, very advisable. So advisable. For example, I personally, when I was a little boy, even though we like to eat meat food, I never heard about the chicken tandoori and so forth. And then the little meat that we got is so delicious. And then later in my 20s, there's something is wrong. This is not fair. This is not fair. Just for my food is so delicious and somebody has to give life. This is not fair. So I said no. I stopped. And then when I tell people, talk about the vegetarianism, I'll tell them that, to be very honest, it's not that I don't like the chicken. If this chicken, they grow like potatoes without life, if they grow like potatoes, I'll be the one to eat chicken every day. But the reality is no, somebody has to give life. And then that's not fair. That's not fair. And some people, they go for the mock meat, which is okay, that is most sophisticated one. There's mock meat made of beans, soybeans, and so forth. Mock meat, and the tofu. Not tofu. Tofu is not mock meat. Mock meat is mock meat. Tofu is tofu. So which means in Singapore you do not taste mock meat. Oh, it's plenty. Everywhere is mock meat, right? You will get mock fish, mock pork, mock beef. Everything you'll get mock in Singapore. So what I'm saying is that some people, they said that, what's the point? Look, these people, they say that we are vegetarian, they stop eating meat, but then they're so fond of the mock meat. There's still there's attachment there. Answer is yes. These people, they have attachment, but they have compassion. Of the two similar food, one meat, one mock meat, they prefer the mock meat. Not mock meat and the real meat, the taste is different. The real meat, the taste is better and also cheaper in many places. But these people, out of compassion, they don't go for the real meat, they go for the mock meat. You don't just look at the attachment part, look at the compassion part. This is so precious. So, this is where we put a little bit of effort to bring up a little bit of change within ourselves. At one time, that was, I think about like 16 years ago. Suddenly I had this pain on my left wrist for 3 days. And one of my relatives told me that, oh, it can be very serious, you have to go to hospital. I went to hospital, checkup, and then they test, they took the biopsy. The biopsy taken, the process was very painful. What is that? Injection, needle, long needle through this, and then from the lungs, it is so painful. And then they send me into the scan with the needle attached to see if the needle hit the right place. And then come back and said that, don't move. The doctor said, don't move. If you move, you have to repeat the whole process from A to Z again. So the pain, but still, yes, they give the local anesthesia. It was a needle, not slitting the throat. But the pain was so acute. And coming back, and there was a nurse, Tibetan nurse. And I asked the nurse, are you vegetarian? She said, no. I said, then can you become vegetarian? She said, yes. I explained to her, look, the pain that I was going through, the pain was so acute. It is not slitting the throat, it's just a needle. And there's the local anesthesia. The poor chickens in KFC, they don't have anesthesia. It's not a needle, it's just slit in the throat. It's so unfair on our part. Just for your taste, the food, you are letting somebody's life go away. This is so unfair, with so much of pain. That's not fair. And then I told her, would you become vegetarian? She said yes. And then the next year I met the same nurse. And the nurse must be telling other people that Geshe asked me to become vegetarian. And then after 1 year I met, she with her husband and others, and they were telling me, Geshe, she's still vegetarian. That's good news. Okay, so these are small things. After attending these retreats, I am not an aggressive vegetarian promoter. You getting it? I'm not an aggressive vegetarian promoter. I really rejoice. Anybody say that somebody says that Geshe, I cannot be vegetarian, sorry, but I stopped buying meat and I only eat outside. That also is amazing. You have taken steps. It's not that we expect everybody to become Buddha the very next day. You take steps, that's amazing. And some say that, Geshe, I'm very sorry, I remain vegetarian only during the Vesak month. 1 month I become vegetarian. That's also amazing. You have taken a step. Some say that I'm very sorry, I can't become vegetarian, but I really rejoice in the people who turn to vegetarianism. Then that is so great. You rejoice in somebody's doing good. So what I'm saying is that any step that you think you can take, if you can take that, take step in that direction, that is so precious. Okay, this is, and that too, not for the animals. Not necessary for the animals. Yes, it helps animals, but for you, for your own well-being, that we don't have to go into the caves in your next life. Right? That karma can be stopped, for that matter. Okay, so next, number 9. Number 9 is the suffering change. Okay, to David. David, this is now here, suffering change. Happiness in the three realms, like cheesecake, relationship and so forth, they are like a dew on a blade of grass, so instantaneously disappearing. Is subject to instantaneous fading away. To strive for the supreme state of liberation. Meanwhile, what happens is that we are trapped, but it's so the instantaneous, very short-lived happiness. We're glued there and we waste our time. We waste our time. Okay, so we waste our time. Instead, if you use this form to get the lasting happiness, that would be so wiser. So it says, to strive for the supreme state of liberation, liberation that never wavers, that never disappears. It forever it is with us. That is the practice of a Bodhisattva. The next is the Bodhicitta, compassion. So, thus far is how to stop the negativities. Commit no evils, the first line of the Buddha's teachings. Commit no evils so that you will not have to go through the miseries in the future. Next is accumulate as great wealth of virtues as possible. Expand your virtues so that your happiness will expand. Number 10. From beginningless time, your mothers have cherished you. If they suffer now, what good is your own happiness? Say, for example, here we see Sonamla and the Sonamla's mother, Tejumla, and Yangjala and Yangja's mother, Senzinla there. So say the child loves the mother so much, and if somebody makes the child give a place in a five-star hotel, and you know that the mother is going to suffer, remain hungry for the next 10 days, a child will never feel happy. Because what's the point of me enjoying my time in five-star hotel while my mother's suffering? What's the point? I'm extremely, the child will in fact feel more pain than enjoying it. So this is what we see, that all other beings are like your mothers who have been extremely kind to us. And some of you may be wondering, hearing this for the first time, yes, in this life we have the mother. And the previous life we have the mother. In the previous life we have the mother. You could keep going like this. How long when we can go past infinite. We can go at infinity. And every time we had life, like human life or whatever. Look at even the animal realm. Look at the love the mother gives to the child is amazing. The sacrifices the mothers go through for the children. That's amazing. So this is how much we have received love and affection from all the other beings. And you may be wondering, but former life, how do I know there's a whole former life? This is a very serious question. How do I know there's the next life? This is a very serious question. So for this, the discussion is mainly, and if you're interested, they say, no doubt we do a little bit of this when we do NDC, Nalanda Diploma course. And then if you want to go even deeper, we study that in Nalanda Master's course. We study this in depth with the help of the text, Pramana Vartika chapter 2, the text. And then we try to incorporate the neuroscience and all these things and explain it, how to see that there is a reincarnation. Okay, so with this in mind, from beginningless time, your mothers, all beings have new mothers, have cherished you, and they've been so kind. If they suffer now, what good is your own happiness? Therefore, in order to liberate an infinite number of sentient beings, cultivating bodhicitta meaning, bodhi meaning full awakening. Chitta is the mind which wishes to become fully awakened to benefit all the beings. Cultivating bodhicitta is the practice of a bodhisattva. Okay, now from verse number 11 down, this more detailed explanation of how to cultivate this universal compassion. Okay, we stop here. Tea break. Tiyatavam gati gati paragati Parasam gate bodhiswatyata Om gate gate Paragate Parasam gate bodhiswatyata Om gate gate paragate parasam gate bodhisvaha. Okay, three prestations together.